Welcome to this place filled with wonderful stories. Hey, why don't you want to reach out to me? In the subsequent talk, Ella was charmed by the other's humour, lifting her mood, though they'd never met. But Ella picked up on this man's extraordinary charm from their exchanges, so when he suggested meeting up, she agreed without hesitation. Next day, Ella dressed up, enhancing her already alluring figure. She arrived at the agreed restaurant filled with excitement, but the next second, whoops, what's going on? Ella seemed to want to flee. The man noticed and mocked himself to ease tension. His confidence and calmness seemed to rub off on Ella, and she began to genuinely listen to Nick's stories, even bursting out laughing at his jokes. Their light-hearted conversation made her realize the true meaning of don't judge a book by its cover. Though Nick was only 130 centimeters tall, he was a remarkably talented architect. By the age of 40, he had accumulated substantial wealth. Despite his flourishing career, his height was an undeniable issue, leading to his wife leaving him. Left with only his son, Nick never felt inferior, instead inspiring others with self-deprecating humor. After learning Nick's story, Ella's perspective completely changed. Ella thought Nick was just bragging, but to her surprise, they actually boarded a plane, and Nick's unforgettable experience turned out to be skydiving. At the moment Nick opened the cabin door, Ella's legs turned to jelly. She couldn't believe it. This brave individual, who was merely 130 centimeters in height, had the courage to challenge such an extreme sport, and the moment their body was in free fall, Ella's heart started to race rapidly. She gazed down, the view instantly vast, with magnificent scenery before her. In that moment of looking down, her body felt one with the world. That freedom and thrill made her forget all fears and constraints. The skydiving gave Ella a fresh view of Nick. As they strolled through rapeseed fields, she remained thrilled and asked for his contact info. Little did Ella know that this 130 cm tall man would entirely change her life. In the coming days, Ella often pictured being with Nick and smiled involuntarily, as if he were her sole joy. However, life's complexities often exceed imagination. Arguments with her ex eroded her joy. Consequently, Ella's mood became heavy. Looking at Nick's contact information on her phone, she couldn't help but dial his number. Nick, who received the call, was thrilled and immediately invited Ella out the next day, saying he would take her to a mysterious place. Next day, Nick took Ella to a restaurant that was highly secret, a place you could only enter through facial recognition, adding a comical at the table. Nick showcased her unique sense of humor, making Ella laugh like a blooming flower with just a few words. They shared funny stories, made faces, and laughed heartily. Dining was full of ease and joy. Compared to the awkwardness of their first meeting, Ella's eyes now sparkled with admiration and affection as Nick gradually entered her heart. After dinner, Nick drove Ella home. The calm night seemed to act as a catalyst for their feelings, and Ella offered a kiss without a word. That kiss confirmed their relationship. The next day, Nick asked Ella out again, but this scene was witnessed by her ex-husband. Seeing their closeness, Ella's ex-husband was shocked, but when he saw Nick driving like a kid, his shock quickly turned into confusion. This date was at Nick's friend's party. Nick gently held Ella's waist. Ella rested her hand on Nick's shoulder. Even though Nick remained optimistic and confident, she couldn't help but feel different when compared to the crowd, leading her to become a bit She seemed afraid that her specialness would draw everyone's attention, but when she saw Ella dancing freely, Nick began to let loose, and her silly dance moves made Ella laugh uncontrollably. In this dimly lit dance party, subtitles, they turned into each other's most dazzling light. After the party ended, Nick drove to a fork in the road, where they exchanged knowing smiles without uttering a word. Ultimately, the car turned left. As fair sunlight filled the room next morning, Nick made breakfast for Ella. While applying makeup before the mirror, she accidentally kicked a vanity stool, hesitating inwardly. She realized this might just be her pride acting up in the background. Back at the office, her assistant curiously asked about her relationship with Nick. Ella replied without hesitation they were just friends, not wanting others to know her boyfriend was a dwarf. Later, Ella went to her ex's office to discuss work details, but he called her Snow White, hinting that she was dating a little person. Though she won't admit her relationship with Nick publicly, she won't let anyone badmouth her. Out of guilt, Ella decided to buy Nick a piece of clothing, but she visited numerous men's clothing stores and found nothing that fit. Ultimately, she ended up at a children's clothing store where the owner mistook her for buying for her son and recommended a matching sweater from his collection. Ella felt a mix of emotions. She understood that Nick's height didn't matter to her, but reality constantly reminded her otherwise. There were still insurmountable gaps between them. During dinner time, when Nick received a gift, he was deeply touched, having not received one in years. Though outwardly strong and optimistic, her inner fragility was apparent. She had gotten used to those different looks, but never realized that real warmth could be so touching. She felt Ella's sincere feelings, but there was still an inkling of unease inside her, as Ella had never included her in her social circle. When Nick brought up this question, Ella hesitated a bit, but ultimately chose to be honest. She told Nick that after her divorce, she lost touch with many friends and her social circle shrank greatly.